Hi, it's Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a pantry clean out, organization, restock, all the pantry things, because my pantry is definitely a mess after the end of the summer. So I want to make sure that I am cleaning everything out, restocking things, checking my inventory on things just to make sure I know kind of what I have, what I might be needing for the upcoming fall and winter to keep stocked in my pantry, and just to kind of take a better inventory. I also have done a lot of canning recently. I did a bunch of peaches, and I did some hot peppers and some salsa verde, and I would like to be able to try and fit some of that in my pantry. Before we take a look at it, this is definitely like the biggest pantry that I've ever had, and I love it. It's so nice. But in here is kind of the things that I use on a day-to-day basis, as well as a lot of my backstock and some of my like food storage items. So this is definitely a pantry that gets used a ton, and the shelves are super deep, and I just want to try and make sure that everything is organized the best way that I know how, and that I can fit things in here kind of how I want to. So this might be a multi-day project, but we'll see how many days it takes and how far I can get going while doing this during nap times. So let's turn the camera around and I'll kind of take you on a quick before of this crazy messy pantry. Okay, so here is my pantry. It's a walk-in pantry, and it has quite a few shelves, and I just love it so much. It makes me so happy. So up here, I have a lot of my backstock of oils, cooking sprays, condiments, those kinds of things. As we go around, I have some snacks, drink mixes. This shelf is like one of the biggest things that I want to take care of, and this is mostly where we go to for snacks. I have not been doing a good job at keeping our containers filled and keeping my backstock organized. And then next to that, I have breakfast things. Up at the top, I have some like entertaining things like drink dispensers. I have a few camping things like the syrup and the oil and pancake mixes that we take camping, as well as a few other random backstock items that should not be up there. I also have our paper towels I store up in the back just because it's kind of deep and I don't access those super often. So those are there. I have my special secret treat bucket, and then as well as some like larger mixing bowls that don't really fit in my cupboards. And then kind of in the back corner behind those, I keep a lot of my canning supplies, which I'm currently using. So those are not back there right now. But hopefully by the end of this, I'll get those cleaned up and back where they belong. And then over here, kind of, I guess, on the wall as you come in, this is where I keep all of my spices. This space I just thought was perfect because it's not too big, but it fits just these little like spice jars really nicely. And then directly next to that are some of my like overstock spices that don't really fit in my holders. And then I have some of my bulk spices that I use a lot, as well as other like overstock spices. And then I have a few other like random cooking and baking things like chicken broth, breadcrumbs. And then next to this is where I have a lot of my canisters and containers for like baking things. So I have, that's monk fruit sweetener. I have Bisquick, oats, flour, sugar, brown sugar, powdered sugar. Behind that I have pancake mix and Vital Wheat gluten for when I make bread. I have salt and baking powder, cocoa powder, baking soda. This is cornstarch. I don't have a label for that. And then I have a lot of my like baking chips. And then if you can see in the deep dark corner, I have more like backstock of baking chips here. And then in the back there, I have a big thing of peanut butter. In the front, I have the one that we're using, and then in the container back there, I have my backstock, and then this little basket has like honey and corn syrup and those kinds of things, and then I have evaporated milk. Next to that, I have pumpkin, and then these are more of my like baking things. So I have cake mixes, brownie mixes. I have my rice back here. I'd like this to be more forward because I use those a lot more. This shelf is one where I'm going to probably reorganize it a little bit more because here's the bread, and then next to that is kind of like my baby section. So I have like teething crackers, pouches, puffs that my baby eats. And then in this back section, when she was still on formula, this is where I would keep all of our formula. And since she doesn't drink that anymore, I now have quite a bit of space left that I can kind of reorganize and put more things in. I do have one canister of formula left, but I'm going to give that to my cousin and his wife who just had a baby who could use it. And then these white buckets just keep snacks for the girls. This is the shelf-stable yogurt and applesauce pouches, and then behind that, in those green and blue bins, are just more snacks. And honestly, we don't access those a ton, so I want to make sure I go through those and see what things have expired, what things we actually want and need, and then I might kind of reconfigure those snacks and move them up to where I keep some of the other snacks as well. And then down here we have tons of pasta. This whole section on this side is just like regular pasta that we'll use, as well as some of these. And then behind these canisters, I have like pastaroni and mac and cheese that are just like for quick lunches or quick meals. And then from there, we come over to like my canned goods section, which has cream of like chicken soup, tomato sauce, chicken noodle soup. I have like powdered gravy mix and jalapeno jelly and all kinds of randomness. And this stuff, again, it's dark, so it might be a little bit hard to see. But this section has just like overflown a ton. And so I need to like definitely reorganize it, get it back to where it needs to be. I continue over here with more cans. These are things that, you know, I don't need to keep as many in stock because I don't use them quite as often. So that's why they're just kind of over here on their own and not in the like can rotators like some of these other things. And then over here I have like my jarred pasta sauces. So tomato sauce, I have Alfredo sauce, and those go back to the back. I also have a few back stock items for like baking things like cocoa powder, baking soda. I have salt back there, those kinds of things. I have this whole basket that has Ziploc bags, straws, my like little baggie holders for when I'm doing like freezer meals. And this system works well for me because I can just pull this out and grab what I need, which is nice. And then over here I have parchment paper, plastic wrap foil, those kinds of things. I keep, these are some like bag clips that I have. I just keep these in like a magazine holder, like a heavy duty one, so that I can easily pull that out. And it keeps them organized and not falling all over the place, which I love. Down here on the bottom, I have like a lot of my appliances. So I have our popcorn popper, and then this is where my Instant Pot is supposed to go, but I'm currently using it right now. And then next to that is where my crock pot's supposed to go, but I'm also using that right now. And then behind that I have my Nutri-Mill mixer. I use this mostly when I'm doing breads or when I'm doing like large batches of things. I do have a KitchenAid as well. But this is kind of like, yeah, like I said, for bigger batches, especially for bread, it has a really powerful motor in it. And then behind that other white contraption is a wheat grinder, so that I can grind my own wheat to make bread or whatever else I want to use whole wheat flour for. Here we have our George Foreman grill. We have an extra popcorn popper for when ours dies, which it probably will be dying soon. And then over here is just a little bit more of my like bulk food storage. I have this basket that's full of like dried beans. We don't use beans too often, but these last for a while and it's just good. And they're really cheap, so it's good to have a few on hand. And then in these ice cream buckets, these are 3-gallon buckets. I have one that has powdered sugar, packages of powdered sugar, one that has packages of brown sugar, and one that has oats in it. And then over here, we just have more snacks. These are the snack boxes that I make for my husband for work. We have a basket of microwave popcorn, a canister of popcorn kernels, and then over here is also where I keep like our back stock of juice, vinegar, distilled water, just those kinds of like bigger, heavier things. And then down here at the bottom is also a complete disaster. I really need to go through and fix things. I have like our extra plastic bags over here. Looks like I have an extra thing of oil that I'm storing down here. This basket usually holds like extra drinks, like Powerades or extra soda or those kinds of things if we need them, especially for sickness, is usually what they're for, but it looks like it has a bunch of random things in it. Over here I have, looks like some pasta that needs to be put on the shelf, some drinks, again, mac and cheese that I need to put on the shelf. And then behind that, I have a container. I'll show these more in detail too as I'm going through them. But I have a container that has like napkins and paper products, those kinds of things. I have one that's empty that's supposed to hold water bottles, so I need to get some more of those. And then I have another one in the back corner that holds like extra Ziploc bags and things like that. And then I have these 5-gallon buckets that hold a lot of my bulk food storage. So this white one has flour in it. The one with the pink lid has my wheat berries. This yellow one has sugar. This one has oats, I believe. Either oats or rice. I can't remember. I think this one's rice. And then I have a bigger bulk thing of oats as well. So those are all kind of staying, but the rest of the floor definitely needs to be cleaned up. This is like a snack basket that I have for Lucy and Isla where I just refill it about once a week or every other week or so. Just with snacks that they can have. So when they want a snack, they can come in and get something. So I'm happy with like where things are. So I'm not going to be like reorganizing it too much, like putting things in crazy new places. It's mostly just I need to go through things, restock things, and just kind of get it back to being organized and more usable than it currently is. Okay, so here I am. I'm just starting by taking down the random things that I have at the top of my pantry. These are things I don't really access super often. So you can see I have like a bottle warmer there. Towards the back, since my shelves are so deep, I keep a lot of like baby things that my baby doesn't need anymore for the future baby, like silicone trays to make baby food or extra bottles or the bottle warmer and things like that. You can see I also organized the little like camping and syrup section. Here I'm taking out all of the snacks and the boxes and the half-open boxes and the random containers, and I'm taking those out just to my counter so that I can go start restocking and refilling those, which you'll see in just a second. So you can see I have quite a few snacks. I always buy things when they are generally I buy things when they're at the lowest prices and stock up on them when they are the best deal and just kind of keep them so that we are eating the things that are we're eating things that are the least expensive when they're on sale. So right here I'm just going through our drink mixes. We don't use these too often. I have like hot chocolate that I pull out in the winter and a few like back stocks of flavored packets to put in water. And then you can see over here I'm pulling out more snacks, more drink mixes, more things to kind of organize and decant and go through, make sure that my dates are all not expired and that they're just good to go. So here we're going to be decanting some of the snacks. I have a Cheez-Its box. You see, I buy those about once a month or every other month. They're just an easy, pretty inexpensive snack that we like to have, especially my husband likes to take them for work. And these are some of those seasoned pretzels. They're like a Dots dupe. They're the Snyder's Twisted seasoned pretzels, and we really like them. Much less expensive than Dots. They don't taste quite the same, but they do kind of give you that seasoned pretzel fix. And in one of my grocery hauls, they were on a really good sale at Costco. And so I bought quite a few bags, and that's the last of our bags of them. So they did last us throughout the summer and well into the fall, which is nice. Right here you can see me putting together these little snack boxes for my husband. These are just the easy lunch boxes. I got them on Amazon. I can link them down below. But they have just 4 little compartments. Lots of people use them to make like homemade Lunchables. And I usually just go through about once a week and load them up with 4 different kinds of snacks. My husband likes them because it helps keep like smaller portions. And so I just kind of fill them with 4 random snacks, whatever we happen to have that week. And I just keep them stacked like that in the pantry. And then when he brings them home, I usually send them through the dishwasher. And then once all 4 of them are empty, then I go through and just restock them again. So sometimes I do it twice a week. Sometimes I just have to do it once a week. It just kind of depends on the cycle of how we're going through them. So these flip block containers I got from Sam's Club, and I really like them. I got them on sale for like $20 for, I don't even remember how many were in the set, but it comes with lots of different sizes, and they keep food just as fresh as the OXO ones. I do have the OXO ones. I use those mostly for my baking supplies with like the pop tops on them. And they're good, but they are very expensive. So I bought mine when they were on sale at Costco, and I bought 2 sets when they were on sale a couple years ago. And I do really like them. But like I said, these flip top ones from Sam's Club are much less expensive and they work just as well. So you can see I have the snacks that we're using most frequently up in the front, and then kind of my restocks are in the back. Here I'm just refilling my trail mix container and putting that in the basket that holds my kind of overstock. Now I'm going to be reorganizing some of the snacks. I want these snacks weren't really that accessible, and I want them to be more accessible. So I'm going through reorganizing, again, throwing things away that are expired. Some of the things in here, I'm trying to remember. Oh, we haven't gotten to those ones yet. But some of the things in here have been like 2 or 3 years expired. We had one little container that has like Whole30 snacks and treats, which we haven't done in at least 2 years. We probably did it around this time in 2020 was probably the last time that we did it. And we used to do them like fairly frequently, like once or twice a year. And so if we had any leftover snacks, I would just keep them. You can see me throwing away a bunch of ones that have like completely expired. But we haven't done one in so long because I got pregnant at the end of 2020, was pregnant through half of 2021, had my baby in July, and then, was newly postpartum at the end of 2021. And then this year I've been finishing grad school and enjoying my summer. And so we just haven't had a chance to get around to doing another Whole30. So I'm putting those snacks back in the pantry. Again, hoping that this can be more accessible. And over here, I'm just rearranging some of my condiments and sauces. Again, I like to buy these and stock up on them when they are on sale. That way I always have them when we need them or want them. And I'm never like running to the store last minute to get a dip or a sauce that we might need or want. I also always have backups of cooking spray and different cooking oils. You can see I have 2 big containers of chicken bouillon over there. That's with the yellow label on it. I'm almost done with the one I'm currently using, so one of those will be opened soon, and then I'll just have one in my back stock. And then right here, I am putting in some of the things that I've been canning this fall. I didn't record any of that just because it was kind of like my first time canning, and I didn't want to like be filming things that I'd mess up. So I did can salsa verde and hot peppers. And then you also saw me putting up some jalapeno jelly that my great aunt canned for my husband. Over here, I'm just going through my spices and kind of my baking and cooking area. My oats were super low, so I took those out to add more to it. And then just kind of going through all of my baking canisters, making sure things are where they're supposed to be. Nothing is too empty. Most things were fairly full, so I didn't really need to restock all of those. And then we are going kind of to the other side of the shelf where I'm going through some of the baby food, pulling all of that out, my can of formula so I can give that to my cousin. And then just kind of going through some of like our spreads that we have and going through some of my back stock of like pumpkin, evaporated milk. You can see I just pulled out some sweetened condensed milk, going through my baking chips, seeing what I have that I could maybe combine into a different container, counting to make sure I have enough baking chips to kind of get us through the holidays. Or if I need to buy more. I was also making notes of things that I need to be looking for when they're going on sale, just so I kind of know what I have versus what I need or would like to have. Especially in the fall and winter, I do a lot of baking. Something I really like to do with my 4-year-old Lucy. And so I like to make sure that I have enough of those baking things on hand. And then I just pulled my rice forward, which you saw in my befores, that my rice was kind of towards the back. And I do access that fairly often, so I wanted just to bring that forward. And then over here, you can see I'm working on some of the pasta and kind of moving some of those like quick pasta boxed dinners up to a shelf that's more accessible because we do use those a couple times a month. I'd say we probably have either a box of pastaroni or a box of mac and cheese at least once a week, depending on what our weeks are like. So I'm just moving all of those up so that they are together and I can kind of see. Right now I have about maybe a 12-month supply of the pastaroni and about a 6-month supply of the mac and cheese. We just eat the mac and cheese a little bit more often because my girls really like it. And then I am kind of moving those pasta things back down. You can see I have my canned peaches over there on the side. I really wanted to make sure I could get some room in this pantry to put some of the things that I canned this fall, this end of summer and fall. So I have my peaches there. Right now I'm going through the pasta, pulling out any bags that are open and putting those towards the front so that I'm using those bags of pasta first before I open up new bags. And then I'm just kind of organizing the rest of the pasta just to make sure it gets back to where it needs to be, making sure that my open things are towards the front, my unopened things are towards the back. Most of that pasta I bought fairly recently, and so it's all within date. Nothing has expired. And then I'm just reorganizing some of my cans. These are things that I just keep a few things of and don't need to like keep them on the rollers like I have some of these other things. Rearranging, again, just some of my smaller canned items that I don't keep a ton of backstock of. And then I'm going over here and I organize some of my backstock of baking supplies. Now I'm going down to the floor, which was like the worst part. It was so messy. I just would dump things there when I didn't have time to actually put them away where they needed to go. I found quite a bit of just junk and gross stuff on the floor. So swept some of it up so that I was able to easily like clean up some of the things that were on the floor, put them in the right spots. I'm going through this container. These boxes I got from IKEA. They're actually from the kids section and they have rollers on the bottom and they work so well for this bottom section of my pantry. It's so nice to be able to, my shelves are so deep that it's nice to have these that I can push them back and I can roll them forward when I need to actually access the things on them. And they actually hold quite a bit. I have 4 of them that go across this bottom shelf of my pantry. So that first container, I put extra drinks that we have, and I put some of like the bigger containers that didn't fit in other places in the pantry that I wasn't necessarily using. And then here, this is where I keep all of our paper products and paper goods. I moved the straws from one section of my pantry into here just because we don't access them that often. And so I just wanted to keep all of those things together, everything in one spot. And I felt like I don't use the straws that often, so I put them in here just as something we use occasionally. Here is the after of my pantry. I'm just going to take you guys in a little bit closer and show you kind of some of the changes that I made and just how much nicer it looks now. So up here at the top, things are still pretty similar. I just finished up canning, so my canner isn't back there yet. My treat basket is still up here. This basket I was using for like prepackaged snacks, but that I don't need that anymore. So this container is now just holding any other empty containers that I have, or kind of like organization things that I use frequently in the pantry. And then I just have some of my other canning stuff right there, paper towels back there, and then I kind of cleaned up my camping and syrup area. My breakfast area looks pretty similar. I did pull down my granola, so that's actually like with my breakfast stuff, and then just moved over my steel cut oats that I have. Over here, I've refilled all of my snack containers so they look so much nicer, and I got rid of a bunch of like half empty packages and things. I did move these. These are for my baby. They're the teething crackers. I did move them up here just to be with the rest of the snacks, since I'm usually giving these to her when everyone else is having like some of these kinds of snacks. So I just put those up there. And then kind of behind this section is all of like my back stock of things. So you can see I have like all of my crackers up there, graham crackers, saltines, an extra bag of the Cheez-Its, an extra bag of pretzels, and then I just got these today of like single packets of Cheez-Its for when we travel. Okay, something that I did change, well, this didn't change. This is still like my overstock basket. So if I have open packages that I use to like refill like canisters like this or something, I just keep them in this basket, and then when I need to refill, I go here first to see what's open to refill before I open up anything that's still sealed. And then I did move these like cubbies that I was using to store snacks. I moved them over here just because this is where we're kind of in our snack zone and where we're accessing them more often. And I was hoping by moving them over here that they will be gone through a lot quicker. So up here at the top, we have like fruit leathers and fruit bars. I think there might also be some fruit snacks up there, but those are almost gone, and I usually only buy those when we are going on trips, and so we just have a few left over. And here I just have some prepackaged, like these look like alphabet cookies, again left over from some trips, but I want those to be gone. And then down here I have like Cliff bars. I have one kind bar that we need to eat, some trail mix. Again, a lot of these are going to be for when we travel, or when we're like doing hikes and stuff, so those are all there. I kept again a few more snacks. Back here I have raisins. I put them on top of a full raisin container, so that way when this food container is empty, I can refill it. And then I have my trail mix, and then this just has a bunch of drink packets in it. These are just goldfish containers that my girls use. So I usually just keep those out because we use them pretty much every day. When we go on a walk, I just fill those up with goldfish or some other kind of snack. So I just kind of keep them here so that they're easy to access. And then I reorganized some of my sauces and condiments. So I have, barbecue sauce and my sweet and sour sauce. And then these are all like dips for like chicken nuggets or fries. And then I have my chicken bouillon back here. The one that I'm currently using is almost gone, so I'm going to be opening this one soon. And then I have one as a backup. And then I've finished a lot of my canning. So I pulled some of those things over here. I have the salsa verde that I canned, some hot peppers that I canned, and then I have some jalapeno jelly that my great aunt canned for my husband. And then over here, again, is just like my back stock of extra sprays. I have my oils and cooking oils. So I have like my coconut oil, I have ghee, I have some other like Asian like seasonings and oils and stuff that I don't use that often, but I have them. And then yeah, like my cooking sprays that I have, oil, olive oil's back behind that. This section didn't change. I still have all my spices. You saw in the video I was kind of just organizing, double checking dates on things over here, and everything was good. And over here I still have my Bisquick and my oats. I refilled my oats, and we've already used quite a few of them, so I probably will be needing to refill that in another week or two. And then all my baking stuff is still the same. Oh, here's another goldfish container. That goes up there. So here's all the baking things. We used these a lot today. We had a big baking day. What else? Most of this stayed the same. Still have my peanut butter, my baking chips, my peanut butter that we're using, chocolate chips, honey, jam, back stock of like evaporated milk and pumpkin. I did move my rice up to the front. So I have brown rice here and I have white rice underneath. And then I have my basket of bread. And then behind my rice, I have my cake mixes on the left side and my brownie mixes on the right side. And then I moved my baby food still in a similar spot. All my pouches are in front. And then I have like my yogurt melts and then some of the puffs back here in the back. And then this section I really reorganized and I think it's going to work a lot better for us. Right here I have all of our pastaronis, which we do these for lunch like once or twice a month. So we have, about a year's worth of those. And then mac and cheese, we usually have, I don't know, between 2 and 3 times a month, usually like about once a week. Most weeks we have this for lunch. So I have a good, 6 months-ish stock of that. And then these white bins, can't remember if I showed before. This one has applesauce for the girls. And then this one has the shelf-stable yogurt. And then I have all of my, not all. I have a lot of my peaches that I canned. So I have 3 back here in the back that are just going to be behind these buckets. And then over here I have 6 of my quart jars of peaches. And then on top of them, I've just stored my pints of peaches. And then I made some applesauce. So I need to bring in my last applesauce quart in here and then my pints that I have. And I think that will actually be all of the applesauce that I was able to can should fit in here. So that's exciting. That was one of my goals was with cleaning this out was to be able to find room to put a lot of the things that I canned this year. Down here, I have my pasta shelf. Down here, kind of behind these boxes of these canisters of pasta is where I had all that pastaroni and the mac and cheese. So I moved these. And then I moved like my big box of elbows that I have. And then in this green basket, I have just different bags of pasta. And then in the back corner, I have just boxes of various kinds and shapes and whatever of pasta. So that still is all pretty much in the same spot, just reorganized a little bit. And then over here, I still have my canned goods. I've just cleaned them up a lot. So just made them, look nicer. And then I was able to take kind of inventory of what I have so that as the case lot sales are coming this fall, I kind of know what I need to stock up on. Over here, I have some of my like gravy mixes. Oh, this should go over here. Just my box of spice mixes. And then I do have some just applesauce from Walmart that I have that I also need to be working through. Just kind of reorganized so that my fruits were together and I checked the dates on everything and everything was good. Here's just my basket of clips. And then here's all my pasta sauce. I was able to move some of my baking backstock to make that more organized. I also went through my Ziploc bag basket and organized that a little bit better. I took out the straws because we don't actually use those very often. So I moved those to a different spot and added my air fryer parchment paper things and some of my longer like bag clips, and then my my freezer bag holders are in here as well. And then I usually keep a box of gloves. I've just been using those a lot with my cannings. I have better organized my back stock of baking things. So I have like my baking powder, which I need to refill my baking powder canister. Cocoa, back stock of baking soda is kind of back there, those orange boxes. And then my magazine rack of like my plastic wrap and foil and those things is still working good. Okay, and then down here on the bottom, I have my appliances like I showed. Still kept my popcorn popper there. My Instant Pot is not being used, so it's back. My crock pot's not being used, so it's back. I have been using my wheat grinder and my big bread mixer today, so those are not in there right now. And then this has pretty much all stayed the same. Still have my bulk beans and oats and brown sugar, powdered sugar, popcorn. This is kind of my husband's little like lunch section. So he has his snack boxes, and then this is where he keeps his lunchbox if he doesn't currently have a lunch packed. And then, yeah, just have my vinegar here. I did move that thing of oil that was on the ground. I did put that up here just so my floor was a little bit more clear. And then down here at the bottom, I reorganized my bags a little bit better. I like keeping brown paper sacks, and then I have these big, like, heavy-duty plastic bags that I get from my Kroger grocery pickup. I like keeping those in case I need to take dinner to people, which I do pretty often. They're just really nice to put all the food in to take to whoever I need to take it to. And then I have my bag of plastic my plastic bag holder. If we look in here, this box has my Powerades are down in here, extra Capri Suns, a few Capri Suns that I have, and some Dr. Pepper that I have, as well as some empty containers in case I need those. These ones are just a little bit big, so I kept the bigger ones down in here because I had the space. And then next to that, I have my paper goods bin. So I have my paper napkins if we need them. We don't usually use this too often. Usually I just go through here if we are going camping is the main thing, or if we are doing, you know, a get together or a party or something, or if we have a special holiday. Sometimes I keep like seasonal small plates in here for like 4th of July or Easter or Halloween or things like that. So I went through and organized this. And over here, I still need to restock this basket with a case of water bottles. I have a case of them. I just need to move it from like my longer term storage into here so that I have them. So I still need to add those waters there. And then my buckets are still doing great. I just used them a bunch today because we did a bunch of baking. My flour is almost gone, but I have a 25-pound bag that I can refill this with, and pull up my older bucket of flour to replace that with. So that's good. And then I was refilling my sugar buckets and had a little bit left over, so I put some sugar in here. So this will be the sugar that I refill my canister with first, just so that I can get that out of the way. And then here's the basket, the snack basket for my girls. If they need something, they can come in here and grab something. It's mostly granola bars because I really want those to be eaten before they go bad because they're getting close to their expiration date. So those are there. And then, yeah, still have just my other buckets of rice and oats over here. So thanks for watching my pantry organization and redo. I was able to do this in about 2 or 2.5 hours on a Friday afternoon when my husband was home early from work, which was wonderful. So I was able to get all that done and restock everything, which just feels so nice to have a nice, clean, like organized pantry, which I'm super excited about. And we've lived in this for about a week, and everything still seems pretty much in the right spots. You probably saw me move a couple of small random things, but for the most part, it stayed super organized. We've been in and out of here a lot, especially as I've been doing a bunch of baking and cooking projects that you guys will be seeing in the next few weeks, which I'm really excited about. So make sure that you like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can be notified and be ready when I post new videos. I have lots of fun ones coming up, especially I'm going to be doing a day in the life soon. I get to know you, and like I mentioned, I'm going to be doing lots of recipes, especially once October comes. So if you're interested in any of those things, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.